Hello everyone. In a previous video we looked at how to start a chess game. So we discussed about taking control of the center and the concept of development where you try to get your minor pieces, bishops and knight out towards the center. Then taking the king to safety by castling, improving the queen's position and connecting the rooks. Today we are going to look at what you should not do in the opening is don't bring your queen out early. Why is that? As most of you know, the queen is the most valuable piece on the chessboard. It's worth roughly about 9 pawns or 3 knights or 3 bishops. We say it's worth 9 points. What will happen if you bring the queen out early? If you bring your queen out early, pawns, bishops, knights, the lesser valued pieces can attack the queen, and it's not sufficient to defend the queen because these lesser valued pieces would be happy to sacrifice themselves for the queen, because let's say if a knight attacks the queen and if you defend the queen with a pawn or another piece, the knight would give itself up for the queen. So you'd be losing 9 points for the opponent's knight or even the bishop, just 3 points. So you'll be gaining a huge advantage. It's true that it is not checkmate, but still, losing your queen is almost equal to losing a game. And in many games, most players would resign upon losing the queen. So let's look at an example. White plays pawn to e4. As we discussed in a previous video, this is a good move. You're getting a pawn to the center. You're occupying the center with a pawn, as well as you're controlling the center square d5, and you're planning to get the bishop out. So it's a good move. So black replies likewise. Just assume that white continues with queen g4. So this is a definite no, because the queen is so powerful, so valuable, you should not take it out. Black will just reply with knight f6 and attack the queen. So here, as I said before, there's no point defending with a pawn. Black would just capture the queen. You could recapture. You have just lost 6 points. Your queen for the knight. The net difference is just 6 points. So let's go back a few moves. So when the queen is attacked by the knight, white has no choice to move the queen away. There are many squares. Probably the best thing is to accept the mistake and go back, but just assume that the queen is moved to h3. What will black do? Black will play d5, and then there would be a discovered attack on the queen. Discovered means the pawn was blocking the bishop, and black moves the pawn, but now the bishop attacks the queen. At the same time, this pawn is attacked by the black's pawn as well as a knight. Let's say the queen moves again to safety. What will happen now? Now the bishop would develop to g4 and attack the queen again. White cannot capture it because if white captures the bishop, the queen will get captured by the knight, again losing 9 points for the opponent's 3 points, the bishop. That's not going to work. The queen has to go to somewhere apparently safe. Assume the queen goes to e3. So what's happening here? The white's queen is getting chased all around the board by the black's minor pieces, the lesser valued pieces. And whilst doing so, the black's pieces are getting out into the game. They are getting developed by gaining time as they attack the queen when they move, gaining a move after move. So this is called gaining tempos. So queen e3, let's say black played knight c6, that is developing the other knight. Assume white captures the pawn, the knight can recapture the pawn, once again attacking the queen. So now the queen has run away. State goes here, black can play queen d7, d3, black can castle. So if you really look at the position and compare who is more developed, it's clearly black that is more developed. Let's count the pieces that are developed. The pawn is here, occupying the center. We'll count it as one. I mean, a pawn move is not actually considered as a development move, but it is a move that will help development. But let's just count it for the moment. Pawn on e5. This is developed. Knight is developed. The other knight is also developed. King has castled, and the king is pretty safe. The rook has come out. Queen has improved its position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 to 6 moves that can be considered as development moves. If you look at white, what has white achieved? None of white's minor pieces are developed. And the queen was not supposed to get out early. Queen is out, it's not really development. And white doesn't even have a pawn occupying the center. So we say that black is so far ahead in development. So in most cases, this advantage would be could be converted into a bigger advantage and eventually to a win. So this is the reason that when you start the game in the opening, the queen should not come out uh, early. So that ends today's lesson. So we will, in future videos, we will continue to explore the opening principles that will allow you to start a chess game quite effectively.